You are listening to The Last Hand, Book 8 of the Nadia Wolf Series, written by Nicolette Pierce. Copyright 2018. Audio copyright 2025 by Pierced Heart Publishing. Digitally narrated with full cast of voices. Chapter 6.
Should we do one theme or 4 different ones?
Frankie asked the group. We were all crammed into the same little room, with my hotel furniture mingled in with Frankie's. Except for its initiators, no one seemed enthusiastic about the idea of a group wedding. I didn't blame any of them. We were an odd mix thrown together by circumstance. And while I consider them all family, that didn't mean we'd want to be married together. However, seeing as most of my thoughts were of the location of the nearest toilet, or when our home would be finished, or even where Alfonso might be hiding, I didn't mind that Frankie and his musketeers were planning the wedding. It was one less thing I had to worry about, one less thing I'd screw up. This settled things nicely for me. I glanced over at Caleb, wondering if he might feel the same way. He wore the same dumbfounded expression as the rest of the group. I'd talk to him later. No sense in making waves now. I assumed that's what everyone was thinking as well, biding their time until Alfonso was found and apprehended. Until then, we were all stuck together. We had to make the best of it.
Nadia, what do you think?
Maya asked, snapping me from my thoughts. I'm sorry. I must have been daydreaming. What did you ask? Maya grinned.
I daydream all the time now, too. It's the baby hormones.
I nodded to agree with her, but I rarely daydreamed. I mainly worried. Grayson smirked at me, but then quickly smothered it. He was enjoying my discomfort. I didn't think it was to be mean or vindictive. That wasn't Grayson. I think it was just nice having the spotlight focused elsewhere. It couldn't have been easy for him to have Maya's sole attention on him and Jenna. Well, that wasn't true. She also had a new focus on Ian and Gwen. But still, even half of Maya's attention could be overwhelming. When Maya turned her head, I stuck my tongue out at him, earning a smile. If nothing else, I felt better knowing that at least there was no real tension between Grayson and me. This would have been a horrible situation otherwise. I studied Jenna for a moment, watching how easy they sat together and how she interacted with everyone. It seemed as if she had been a part of the group the entire time. She fit in. Remy and Ava weren't at the soiree, as Frankie was calling it. Tracking down the drug lord trumped sitting in a tiny room discussing wedding plans. Even Gus wasn't impressed as he sprawled out on the bed, his tail flicking with annoyance.
I'm still in favor of the jungle theme,
Mark said.
The grooms could totally pull off wearing a loincloth.
I happily witnessed many of the grooms pale a few shades.
I think they would be better off going traditional. They would look handsome in tuxes, and I know many of the brides want to wear dresses. Well, maybe not Nadia.
Why wouldn't I want to wear a dress? I asked.
Everyone knows you hate dressing up.
Frankie and Mark nodded. But that didn't stop any of you from stuffing me in a dress at your whim, I stated. Plus, it's a wedding. I'm fine with a dress. Maya clasped her hands together.
See, I knew she could be reasoned with.
She smiled smugly at Frankie. I didn't see what the fuss was about. Traditionally, brides wore dresses. It never once entered my mind to not wear a dress. I supposed over the many years that I'd had to work at the chapel, I did see plenty of women stumble through the doors wearing party clothes. Most of them were in skirts or shorts, a few dresses, some jeans. But that would be a drunk wedding, and there was no getting drunk in my near future.
I know what we'll do,
Frankie said, swiping the courtesy notepad and pen from the end table.
Since everyone seems to be tight-lipped, we'll put all of our suggestions in a hat, and whatever idea has the most votes, that's the one we'll use.
Caleb reached into his pocket and pulled out a buzzing phone.
It's Jessica.
He frowned before answering it. He stood and with a quick kiss to the top of my head, He excused himself into our room and closed the door slightly, leaving it cracked open. I tried to listen to the conversation, but with Frankie and Maya chattering, I couldn't quite make out what he was saying. Knowing Jessica, it was just a call to go over his schedule for the next day. However, she normally called earlier than this. The pad of paper and pen were passed to me. Maya and Frankie looked expectantly. I thought about all the different options and wrote the one I would have planned. It was moments later that Caleb reappeared. He gave me a quick kiss.
I have to go.
What's going on?
Jessica forgot to put an event on my calendar. It's tonight at Lost City.
You can't go, I said. We have to stay here.
I don't have a choice. I had requested this event specifically. It's for charity. If I don't show up for my own event, it'll look bad.
How are you going to make it past the guards?
I know them. It'll be fine.
I gave a slight nod. Good luck.
Who needs luck when I've got you?
With a quick wink, he headed for the door. I hadn't noticed, but the room had quieted and Maya gushed a very loud,
Oh,
I don't think you'll get past security.
Grayson said, stalling Caleb.
Remy threatened their very lives if they let anybody through.
I think he can finagle his way through.
Ian said.
Should we place a bet?
Mark asked.
Everyone who thinks he can make it past security, raise your hand.
Ian and Jenna raised their hands. Everyone else kept them down. With a wounded expression, Caleb glanced at me. I gave a small shrug. I know Remy. No one's getting out of here,
Unless we work together.
Frankie said. The gleam in his eye was unmistakable. He was up to mischief. However, it was for Caleb, so a little mischief was okay.
what if we lure security in here?
Maya asked.
It might work.
Ian said. Caleb shook his head.
Don't bother. I'll try getting through first. I'm pretty sure it's against the law to keep a man against his will.
After he strode out of the room, we waited and listened for sounds. After a few minutes, Ian asked,
Did he actually make it?
No, that's impossible.
Grayson said.
Remy wouldn't have allowed him through so easily.
But Remy's not the one standing there.
David said.
If Caleb got out, anyone else can get in.
Ian said. David quickly stood.
Stay here.
And before anyone could say anything else, he was out the door.
I hate when he does that.
Maya said, rubbing her belly.
He can't stop himself.
He'll be fine, I said. He's just checking on the guards,
Oh, I know.
she said, sitting next to me.
It's just he always runs straight into danger without a second thought. Not even about me or the baby.
I'm sure his thoughts are only of you and the baby. Otherwise, why would he care about the guards?
Well, it doesn't seem that way.
David returned to the room, shutting the door behind him and bolting it.
We have a problem.
What's wrong?
Grayson asked, standing.
The guards are gone.
What do you mean gone?
Ian asked, standing as well.
They deserted their posts. There's no one there.
What about Caleb? I asked.
There's no sign of him. He might have gone to his event.
He would have come back to let us know there were no guards,
Call him and make sure he's okay.
David said. Then he turned to Grayson.
Call Remy.
What are you going to do?
Grayson asked as David unbolted the door and peeked out.
I know where Remy keeps his armory. Lock the door as soon as I leave. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
No.
Maya said.
Stay here with us. If the guards are gone, it might not be safe.
Exactly. That's why I need to get to the armory.
He looked at her as if willing her to understand. And then he slipped out the door, and right before he closed it, he said,
Bolt it.
Ian stepped over and slid the latch in place.
Aren't you going after him?
Maya asked, her eyes already beginning to dampen.
David knows what he's doing.
Ian said.
We thought Remy knew what he was doing. And now, look what happened.
Don't worry, Maya.
Grayson said.
We don't want David to get hurt either. We'll come up with a plan. But first, I need to call Remy.
As Grayson pulled out his phone, I had already dialed Caleb. It rang 5 times and then went to voicemail. Maybe he couldn't hear his phone. I tried a simple text. No answer. Okay, don't panic. He was probably just en route to the event and was focused on that and not his phone. Yes, that was possible. Whenever I was in a rush, I would do the same thing. Grayson shook his head, muttering a curse.
He's not answering.
Try Ava.
Maya said.
I don't have her phone number, do you?
Maya gave Grayson a withering stare.
She's family. You need to have her phone number.
I'll add her as a contact once we have this all figured out.
Maya dug through her purse and found her phone, but pretty soon she was shaking her head as well.
No answer.
Gwen stood next to Ian.
We're not safe here.
I know, but now we're stuck. Everyone who stepped out of this room has disappeared.
Ian said.
We'll keep trying to reach everyone and wait for David.
Grayson said.
Once David returns, we can figure out a plan.
I dialed Caleb again, but there was still no answer. Tension clawed its way up my back and neck. Maya took my hand and held it.
It'll be okay.
She said with a brave face, as if convincing herself it would be true.
How many times have I been through this? And each time, everything worked out fine.
For the first time, I truly had a glimpse into Maya's world. This wasn't a one-time thing for her. It was a part of her life. How many times did she have to wait and worry over David? How many years did she think he was dead? The suffering that she must have been through had to be unbearable. And yet here she sat, holding my hand as if it were only me who had the problem.
He'll be back soon.
Ian said.
If nothing else, David is stubborn. He won't let anything come between you and him.
Maya attempted a smile.
I know.
But while she sat and tried to be brave, I grew angry. How many times have we all been in danger? How many scrapes did we have to go through before this would all end? Where's Sergio? I asked. I need to speak with him.
I think he's in his room with Rosie.
Frankie said.
He said he would come by a little later.
Which room? Frankie shrugged.
I don't know.
I quickly dialed Sergio and then cursed when it went to voicemail. Why is no one answering their phone?
Maybe they want to be left alone.
Mark said.
We need to warn him.
Ian said. But how do we warn him when we don't even know what room he's in and he's not picking up his phone? I asked.
Once David gets back, we can knock on every door.
Grayson said.
There's no one else on this floor except for us.
But after 15 minutes of waiting, no answers, and no David, I stood. I'm going to find Sergio. Sergio was the only one who had answers. He was supposed to help plan a strategy. Where in the hell was he? Caleb, David, Remy, and Ava were all out there, and no one had heard from them. I was not going to sit and wait.
I'll come with you,
Maya said, struggling to stand. Maya, please stay here. You wouldn't be able to run if you had to.
I'm not going to stay here while you go out.
We'll stay with you,
Frankie said, with Mark's nodding agreement. Mark hurried over and sat next to Maya.
We'll watch reality TV and make fun of how ridiculous they are.
It will help pass the time.
Frankie sat on the other side of Maya with the TV remote. Maya sighed.
I guess I wouldn't be much help anyway. But I demand to have updates. As soon as you find Sergio, you let me know what's going on.
The rest of us will come with you,
Grayson said to me. I nodded and hurried out the door. Grayson, Jenna, and I headed down one side of the hallway while Ian and Gwen went the other way. I banged on the door with my fist, waited for sound, and then continued. I banged on the next door. Still nothing. When I got to the third door, Grayson stopped me.
You're going to hurt your hand.
I'm not even thinking about my hand right now.
But you will be later when it's bruised and swollen. How many times have you landed in the hospital?
It was more than I wanted to admit. So, at the next door, I let him knock on it. We all listened and then moved on. It was a few minutes later when we reconvened in Frankie and Mark's room. No one was able to find Sergio or Rosie.
I tried calling them while you were out. No answer.
What should we do now?
Frankie asked. I'm going to Lost City Casino,
Why?
Grayson asked. Because that's where Caleb is playing in an event tonight. I need to make sure he's okay,
I'll go with you.
Grayson said quickly, to which Jenna raised a brow. No, I'll go on my own. You guys need to find the others.
You might need me. I can get you into the events room.
I hadn't thought of that, but it really didn't matter. I just need to verify he's there. I don't actually have to stay. I should be fine.
Actually, you might be turned away.
He winced. Why? And then I remembered. I thought you lifted the ban on me?
I did, I swear. But when I left the company, the papers hadn't been filed. Technically, you're still blacklisted.
I stared at him with a mix of shock and dismay.
Let's go now. I can get this all sorted.
I can't believe I'm still banned. It wasn't even my fault.
I know. I meant to get it squared away before you came back. Honest.
An awkward silence ballooned between us. This was not the time nor the place to worry about this. I gave a quick nod. Okay, let's go now. The more time we waste... I couldn't finish the sentence. The thought that Caleb could be in danger frightened me. Let me just get my purse, I said, turning away before I could shed a tear. I blamed my runaway emotions on my hormones, but I knew it was more than that. If anything ever happened to Caleb... No, he was probably fine. He was in a rush to get to the casino, and once he started playing, he turned off his phone. I hurried into my room and grabbed my purse. I took out my wallet and keys and left everything else. I returned to find Grayson and Jenna whispering to each other. I couldn't see his face since his back was turned to me, but her expression said enough. She was not happy. I assumed it was because Grayson was leaving to go to the casino with me. I didn't know if she was jealous or if it was something else, but I felt horrible he needed to come. However, Grayson didn't file the papers. Did he stall because he resented me for choosing Caleb? I waited for a moment, not wanting to interrupt them. A quick glance over at Frankie, Maya, and Mark told me they weren't going to interrupt either. I pointed to myself in question, wondering if the argument was about me. They all nodded. With a sigh, I said, Jenna should come with us. The whispering stopped as both of them looked over at me.
I don't think that's wise.
Because it's unsafe?
Of course.
If you hadn't noticed, it's not safe here either. Grayson paused for a moment and then nodded.
That would be, yes.
It was as if Grayson was in agreement, but also hesitant. I wondered at that.
If it's not safe, why are we staying here?
Frankie asked. David should be back soon.
Let's wait for him to get back, and then we can form 2 different parties.
Grayson said.
Every time one of us leaves, we don't seem to come back.
Ian said.
This time we'll be 2 groups. It's harder to ambush a group than a single person.
So, you think they were ambushed?
No, but we don't know what happened to them either. Until someone starts answering their phone, we're in the dark.
How long should we wait before we leave? I asked.
Give David another 5 minutes. This building takes at least a good 5 minutes to walk across, and that's if nobody is standing in his way.
Nadia, why don't you sit down until we decide what to do?
Ian said.
You're starting to look a little pale.
When hasn't she looked pale?
Frankie asked. I slid an annoyed glance at Frankie and then gingerly sat on the sofa. I did need a couple of minutes to regroup. We all sat in silence, avoiding eye contact with each other. I turned my attention to Gus. While I wouldn't want to be a cat, right now I'd trade places with him. He was so peaceful, curled into a U-shape. His pudgy tummy still wouldn't allow him a full circle. Mark hand-delivering him treats every 5 minutes probably didn't help his situation. However, I wouldn't mind the coddling attention. Caleb tried to be attentive to me in my pregnant state, and most of the time he was successful at knowing what I needed before I did. But I was still a mess, And even Caleb had his capable hands full. It made me envy women who wore pregnancy like an accessory. The ones who glowed and kept their figure. The only reason the scale was slow moving for me was because anything I ate came back up. Round trip ticket.
Has it been 5 minutes yet?
Maya asked. Ian shook his head.
Another minute.
Maya tried to cross her arms, but her protruding belly stopped her. She let her arms fall to her side in defeat.
He'll be okay. Think about how many missions he's been on. A simple trip through a hotel casino is nothing.
We all held on to that thought. But when 30 minutes had passed, we knew he wasn't coming. It was time to act.